أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The title of this video is actually about, what it's called, how did my problem start and where did it begin for me. So, number one, I'm going to say, there is no guarantee that I am right about anything of my experiences. For all we know, there is no jinn and there is no aim, there is no hasad, there's none of these things. For all I know, it could be just mental illness and depression. However, I've had enough experiences to know that it isn't the case. But even when you have all these experiences, only Allah knows best, and that's what I'm going to say from the start. I don't know. I can't claim anything for certain. But like I said, I've got enough experiences in my life to know what it could be. And so this topic is about how it started. So I'm 33 at the moment. So where my problem started from was at the age of 15 years old, so about 2002. So my mum went to Pakistan. She went to Pakistan probably just for a holiday visit, maybe to a family. And I was at home, my dad and brother, I think my sister was home as well. And around that period of 2002, I had some sleep disturbances. But months prior to that sleep disturbance that came up, I had issues where I could hear some breathing coming from the corner of my bed. And I was sleeping with my brother because we were both young at the time. So I was 15 years old, he was 3 or 4 years younger than me, so we'd sleep together. And from the corner I could hear breathing, and so I'd run after hearing that to my mum's room, and it kind of got me frightened. And that was April 2002. And then when my mum went to Pakistan, she must have went there for about a month or two. So I was at home sleeping in my room, and my brother's probably sleeping with my dad. And then I had some issues where, for example, I'd hear some breathing sounds on my bed, and I can feel like someone was breathing next to me. And so obviously you get a bit nervous, you get frightened, and you start to check what is going on, and you become very skeptical. And I was very skeptical as well, because it could have been the sound of my own voice, it could have been me breathing, and then me feeling my own sort of body going up and down the bed, because it could be these things as well, and you have to really look into these things. So it happened for quite a few days. So for example, on the first day it happened, second day it happened, third day it happened, and every time I tried to go to sleep, I could hear something. And then obviously partial of it was, like a little bit of it was down to fear as well. So but I was very skeptical. I tried to drink some Horlicks, which is some sort of powder you mix with the hot water, and then with that you can like fall asleep, but it never worked. And I just felt very uneasy, and the problem was actually quite real, because I could actually feel someone or something was breathing next to me. And it feels like when I'm breathing, there's something else breathing there. But then over time, you start to creep. I kept questioning it for 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even a month, when it kept happening. So I'd be so skeptical that I went to check if it could be something, like it could be myself. And so I'd turn the light on, do this check, do that check. So I was always I was never really trusting of what I was feeling, and that sort of stuff. So I couldn't sleep all night every day, most of the time, and I'd only sleep after like 5 or 6 in the morning. So that's my experience initially, and so that's where it started from. And I could maybe I'm wrong, but I could even hear something breathing from the floor. So whenever I sleep on the floor, and then from the bed I can feel something. But again, at that time I didn't really think about jinns and things like this. I ended up going to a website called duas.org, which is probably still around. I emailed them and asked them, and I told them that the situation's happening, and they said, yeah, it could be just your own breath and your own breathing, and therefore it might not be what you think it is, but you should recite Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq and Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, falaq nas, as protection. And I tried to do all that as well. So So after a while, just had sleepless nights, and my mum was in Pakistan, and I just kept investigating, and eventually I wouldn't sleep, and so I'd be up on the computer, just not sleeping because I can't sleep, and obviously because there's some noise going on, and there's just an increase in fear. Now, if that voice is, or if that breath was my own body, which when I look back on it, I don't think it was. It was something there, and I'll explain why I think something was there. But I can't prove as to what it was trying to do. I just know something was there. But my mum even had issues in the past in terms of spiritual issues. She had problems with Jinn. She had problems at night when she went to sleep. She'd have things bruising her, and she had energy problems, and she knew she had these problems. And so even when I was young, I did have a couple of run-ins. So I was kind of had issues, like, for example, I wouldn't sleep because I was scared, and so my mum would take me to my auntie and papa to recite Salatul Kursi and whatever it is. And I can't vividly remember everything about my childhood, but I remember one occasion. One occasion comes to mind. It's when I was a kid, and I might have been between 1 to 3, maybe 4, but around those ages, early 90s, maybe late 80s. In my mum and dad's room, I could see a black figure on the floor. It was a very, very statue-like figure, and then so I was pointing at it, telling my mum and dad, "What's that? There's something there." And they picked me up, and I sort of realised I could see something that they can't see. Now, I'm not saying that everything I'm seeing or saying is true. Just listen to what I'm saying. That's it. Just listen to the story. I'm just telling you how my problems began. So the same year in 2002, one day in November, I just couldn't sleep. I mean, I must have got some sleep back after those initial few months, which was April, May, June, and then somehow recovered when my brother came back into my room, and things like that. I must have started sleeping again to some degree. But I remember in 2002, when I was 15 years old, I was in the final year of school and all that sort of stuff. I just couldn't sleep. There was no breathing issues back then. I just couldn't sleep. Closed my eyes, and that's it. I had trouble sleeping every single night. And I was obviously 15, turning 16 in April and whatever, and then 2002, 3, I had really, really bad sleep. Either I didn't sleep at night, or I'd sleep in the mornings, or I'd go 2, 3, 4 days without sleeping. That's exactly how I lived. And so my concentration was weakened, energy was weakened, felt tired, just felt not motivated, and even worse than I probably was already. Now, I'm not saying I was someone bright. I think I was just maybe average or above average, but these things just did make it worse, especially it being the final year of school and all that sort of stuff. And so I didn't really give a monkeys about school at that time. Always coming home, skipping classes, doing this, doing that, and I wasn't really doing well. So I was trying to read off my paper because I've got this outlined in terms of what I want to discuss. So I think I was like that, for years, like even during college times, 16, 17, 18, I just wouldn't sleep at night. I would sleep in the morning. I'd always go in late to school, college, even university when I got there. So yeah, I did manage to get to university. So I remember one time in 2005 to 2006, and I apologise if I'm speaking a bit slowly, because I'm not used to talking like on a sort of voice recording level. I don't want to speak too fast that someone doesn't understand what I'm saying. I'm just trying my best to get it on a bit more of a clarity sort of level, and I've experienced a lot of anxiety in the past, so I don't want to get into making any mistakes. So around 2005, 2006, I remember I started yawning severely, excessively. I never had that much yawning before. When I went to uni, I would just yawn, tears would come out my eyes, and I'd always be tired. And I know because I'm not sleeping, it could happen because of that, but every time I tried to do concentrate at work, at university, lectures and classes. I'd start yawning, tears would come out my eyes, to the point where I'd start tallying, I'd start to tally the amount of yawns that are coming up. So in like 2 minutes I'd yawn 10, 11, 12, 13 times, and then it would eventually stop until my yawning is just cleared out. And I'll discuss yawning a bit later, and what it could be, and all that sort of stuff. But I'm just telling you the story so far. So I was kind of motivated but very brain fogged throughout university, couldn't concentrate. And in 2008, 2009, I'm telling you, this is how I live my life. So I never really slept much at night at all. Very little till late mornings. Used to go into uni every single day, just tired, groggy, always late, or even if I wasn't late, I was just very tired. And so in 2009, I remember my final year of university. I remember doing my work. I'd done stuff in computing, and what happened was I just felt like very tired in the muscles, like I had some severe fatigue in the muscles. It just felt very weird. I never had that before. And so I was trying to do my stuff on my laptop, and then I'd always feel like this severe, this like horrible sort of tiredness in the muscles. You can't get rid of it by stretching. You can't walk it off or do some exercise. You can't eat anything, and that sort of fatigue was there for many years later, from even up until today. It's 2020 now, so probably 2017, 18, 19, even till last year. More recently, it's been there. It's like a very horrible fatigue. It's not like you can go to the gym to fix it, and it's just like I feel disgustingly tired, and I can't really explain what it was. But yeah, this is how I've been living my life. So I did work very hard at university in the final year, after messing a year up because of a certain situation at home and my problems, and so I ended up getting the highest grade possible for that course. But that was obviously due to just severe amount of trying, putting effort in. And I made a severe dua to Allah in 2009, after crying and after almost failing again, that please help me Allah, this, that and the other. And with the effort I was putting in, I got the grade. But yeah, these are the situations. And so yeah, even now today I've not solved that sleeping problem. It's very rare for me to go to sleep and wake up refreshed. I always wake up with a headache, or groggy, or tired, always brain fogged, and it's things like this. And so in 2010, when I did finish my work, when I finished my uni, I was about to start work. I didn't have a job, but I was looking for a job. Actually, I was trying to delay looking for a job because I was tired all the time, and I was scared to work, because work is not the same as university. In university, you can get away with a lot of things. You're not expected to do things on the spot. At work, when you go, if people see you yawning and you're tired and you can't deliver things on time, then it becomes a bit of an issue. And I was so scared to start work, so I never started work until a year and a half later, until I found my job. When I did get my job in 2011 January, it was a computing job, so there's a lot of coding involved, and I was always going in to work with 1 hour of sleep in 2011. Imagine that, from January to December. I'd only sleep probably right in the mornings, maybe an hour or so, and then going to work very groggy, very tired, can't concentrate. Very simple exercises at work, things to do that weren't even mentally challenging, but then I just couldn't execute what I know I can do and what I have the brain and capacity to do. I couldn't even execute what I wanted to do. So that was my life in 2011, and I was coming home every weekend. Like on the weekends, that's the only time I've had to catch up and sleep. And I do sleep, obviously, after the mornings, up until mid to late afternoon. And even when I wake up, I was tired. And so my life was such that I'd have to bring work home and catch up on the weekends, and it was like that. So yeah, that's been the case so far. So to summarize, 2011, then right at the end of 2011, I did get fired from that job, obviously because of performance, but also because I said something to a colleague, a girl, who I told her that I was going to leave in January, and then she must have told the boss that he was going to leave, and so instead of me handing in a notice or getting the time to hand in a notice, he just fired me, before I could hand in the notice. So it was more like he probably just got angry. But he was angry over that year, not only with me, other people in the office, but me especially because of my performance, lack of concentration, this, that, and the other. And you could argue, oh, maybe my sort of ability is just like this, like I'm born to be like this. I'm supposed to be brain fog, tired, and all that sort of stuff. And well, you can think that, but I've got something to say otherwise, and so I'll go into that on another video as to why I believe what I'm supposed to be like and what I'm not supposed to be like. So I'll go into that a bit later. So these are the symptoms I've experienced. So tiredness, lack of concentration, not being focused, unmotivated, just not sleeping day to day, just wasting my life doing nothing, having so much ambition, motivation in my head, but never being able to execute anything. And so it does affect a lot of your life. So there's a lot of things in life that it does affect. So at home you can't organize yourself, you can't clean up and maintain that cleanliness in the house, you can't really organize yourself at work, you're kind of repeating the same mistakes over and over again. You end up saying things to colleagues that you shouldn't say, or it impacts what happens at work, how they see you. And so your focus ends up being, oh, maybe I need more sleep, maybe I need more energy, I need this, I need that. Nothing worked. I did pray. I was praying from 2008, from uni when I was 21 years old, 5 times a day up until now. And so I'm not saying that prayer didn't help. I'm saying that I did pray, and I did continue to pray. I just didn't find any sort of relief over those years. I had a second job in 2012, August, that lasted for about 3 years, which was good because it was a bigger company, and alhamdulillah I got that job, and it was a very good experience. But the problem still carried on there, and I suppose when you're in a bigger company it masks a lot of the problems that happen, because when in a bigger company you got more people working on more things, and so you're not expected to deliver immediately, and so you can get away with a lot of things. So my tiredness was kind of not really a major thing then. It was so relaxed that I could get away with it. So I was always looking for a solution as to what the problems of my life were. So remember I said to you that the problem started off from like a young age, where I could hear someone breathing and this, that and the other, and then I stopped sleeping. From that period, after 2002, I completely forgot about that experience. Like I remember it, but I could never attribute my energy, my sleeping problems, my fatigue, my concentration, my lack of this and lack of that. I could never attribute it to, and I never did attribute it to, like any sort of jinn possession, any sort of sihr, or any sort of ain or hasad. I never did even think like that. So my focus from let's say like 2010, when I slowly got aware of myself, as in like I tried to help myself, and I was always wondering what my problems were. I always used to look at naturalistic means. So naturalistic means might be, for example, oh, why can't I sleep at night? Maybe it's because you're using your phone and you've got blue light coming out the screen, or maybe it's because you drink too much caffeine, maybe it's because you are not relaxed, you're not exercising enough, and you've not got enough vitamin D, your body's not producing melatonin. So that you go down this mad checklist of 20-30 things that could cause your sleeping problems. And so I used to go down naturalistically. Oh, what foods are good? Cut the caffeine out. Oh, if you can't concentrate, do this. You might need more water. I went down everything, vitamins, minerals, you name it. I had a list of 30 plus vitamins and minerals which might cause the problems that I've had. Remember these problems like yawning, being brain fogged, being fatigued, not having sleep. These problems can be caused naturalistically if you've had a range of problems, but I'll go down into that later. And so my situation was that I had to quit my job again in 2015, right at the very end of that year, because I made a mistake at work, and because I actually had a problem with a colleague, which I weirdly don't know how that problem came up. So I must have said something to him that was unnecessary, like I did in the previous job. That wasn't even necessary. He was trying to help me with some work, and I went and said something to him that was just not even needed. And so he got angry, and so, you know, it wasn't him that got me fired. It was, no, I didn't get fired. I left my job. I just made a mistake with a process, and so it cost them something like 30-40 grand in terms of what they lost. It wasn't a major issue for a big company, but, you know, I had to leave because obviously my issues were affecting my career again. So I left, and then, you know, I wanted to leave and hopefully I wanted to like sort of find what the issue was. Once again, I'm back at work, and then I'm trying to find the problem. So I'm hoping that, you know, I could solve the sleeping problem, I could solve this problem, that problem. I remember I was praying all this time. I was reading a little bit of Quran, not much, not really listening to that much Quran, maybe sometimes. And yeah, so my mum actually, she fell ill that shortly after 4 months, and so I'll tell you about that a bit later. But around about that year, 2016, I found out I played a Ruqya in 2016. It's a common Ruqya. It's from Muhammad Luhadain, if I've got the name right. It's a Ruqya for Sihr, Evil Eye, Ain, Hasad, and it's just the one with the orange flame coming out the Quran. So it's like, that's the video I played, I remember. That's a Ruqya video. I've never played a Ruqya video before that. I was quite nervous before I played it because of the things that were written on the description. They said, oh, don't play it in the car, make sure you're with someone, and if you experience these symptoms, do this, and you know, it just gives you a bit of a warning. And so I played it, and when I played it, I started yawning so much. I had so much anxiety, and like in my chest, I could feel it squeezing. I almost like you could feel like you're stopping. Your breath is being stopped, and you're going through so much anxiety, and you're having a massive panic attack. I'm yawning, and I'm getting tired, and things like this were happening while the Ruqya was going on. But towards the end of the Ruqya, I felt like I got so much relief that I've never had before, and all my problems were lifted. I no longer felt like I didn't have any confidence. I had no anxiety, felt like I had more energy. I felt like my body felt so much better. And I'll talk about the energy issues after, how it affected me, what kind of energy issues I had. But I was so bad, like things I wanted to do in the house, I just feel so disgustingly tight in the muscles that I wouldn't want to do anything. Now I could do big exercises like going to the gym. Those are much easier to do, but the little things that always got me like in discomfort. And it wasn't just a mental thing, it was actually a physical thing as well. So yeah, that Ruqya gave me a relief in 2016, and so that was my sort of turning point. That was my discovery into the problems I had that made me turn away from just looking at naturalistic issues. And then I sort of made the jump into the world of Jinn, Sihr, Ain, Hasad, whichever one it could have been. But then I started to realize my problems actually weren't naturalistic. They were spiritual problems the whole time. And so if there was a Jinn in me, if there was a Jinn through whatever it could have been, it was hiding the whole time. And so that Ruqya made it come out. And so yeah, that's my experience up until 2016. And so after 2016, I've just been carrying on with Ruqya, with different types of Ruqya. I've had some very, very good days, very, very bad days. Like I felt like I've had Superman energy. And this is what I'm saying, the Superman energy, which I'll talk about later, is where I feel like I'm so powerful, strong, have so much energy. I could run around, take the whole house apart, put it back together, read things so fast, understand them, get on with my work, things that I can do, and just everything becomes so easy for me. And that's what I meant by this sort of blockage on my energy. And then as soon as the Ruqya was played, yeah, it's just like all these good moments I'm having on several occasions after 2016. So these were very, very rare occasions, but they were so memorable. So like I have a reference point of my good energy, and I have a reference point for my bad energy, so I know what the differences are, what I'm supposed to be and what I'm not supposed to be. So yeah, that's my experience so far. And the question is, what caused the problems, and why, if there is a Jinn there, why did they get there? That's that's another issue. That's not for the current video. I'll talk about that after. I'll tell you exactly what it could be and what it might not be, and we'll go into that in the next few videos. I'll try to tighten my videos up a bit better. But yeah, some of the symptoms of the years. I mean, I've had a lot of symptoms like yawning, tiredness, yawning with tears coming out the eyes, dreams. I've had jerks, muscle spasms, twitches. There's a lot of things that hair loss, like not major hair loss, but there's been a lot of things that are on the list when you look at, for example, symptoms that come up from black magic, evil eye. I have a lot of those symptoms which are very common, and I'll talk about those symptoms after. But there are other things in between these years which I haven't mentioned, which I will mention in the other videos. And so this second video is actually just there to address what my situation is, what my experiences are in a very brief format. And so yeah, you could say that the vast majority of my problem is actually down to sleep and not recovering from my sleep. And even if I did sleep, there is no energy in my body, and there's a headache there, or there's some sort of fatigue in the brain, or there's muscle fatigue, and I'm not able to do what I want to do, my work, organizing my house, fulfill the potential I have for my life. You know, I'm always tired, and you can't do anything like this. Yeah, I prayed 5 times a day, and I always persisted in that. But then yeah, there's other things to discuss in between this, and yeah, I'll make a second video inshallah, and then hopefully this is being a bit clear to some degree. It sounds a bit fast, I think, but it will be, because you know, everyone's got their own experiences, and so I'm sure that some people have had similar experiences. So again, the whole conclusion to this is that I started with the problems. I had the problem from 15 years old. I still have it now, which is sleeping and energy and tiredness and yawning and all these sort of things. And then, so I've got these problems now. And the conclusion is that yeah, I found a spiritual problem within me, which I know that it's not a naturalistic problem. And so I'm here to make this channel, and hopefully I've got a plan for many videos with many things to discuss, and we'll talk about, you know, what my experiences were when it comes to different things. So I'm sure there's a lot of you who have had some experiences, maybe worse ones than me, but I believe that my one was hidden. So as in, if you imagine, if I was looking for naturalistic solutions to my problem for more than 10 years, 2016 comes and 28, 29 probably, and yeah, you know, it gets found out that just playing one Ruqya was enough to determine that problem. But there is a lot of things I'm not telling you here about my mum, about the things that have happened to me in the past, about the things that my mum thinks have happened to me, and the things that my mum was trying to help me with, and experiences over many different things that have happened in our life. But yeah, that's what I want to talk about in this video. It's a bit rough, but yeah, okay, next video we'll make inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.